The gentle hum of a saxophone wafted through the air, mingling with the soft chatter of patrons at Bella's, a quaint little jazz bar tucked away in the heart of downtown Chicago. Evelyn Carter, a poised woman in her early 30s, sat at a corner table, her caramel hair cascading over her shoulders. She absently stirred her drink, her emerald eyes scanning the room. Evelyn had built a life many envied, a loving husband, a promising career as a photographer, and a charming home in the suburbs. But tonight, something weighed heavily on her mind, a gut feeling she couldn't shake. Across town, Matthew Carter, her husband of 6 years, finished his shift at the architectural firm where he'd worked tirelessly to make partner. Matthew, with his classic good looks and sharp wit, had always been Evelyn's rock. They were the quintessential power couple. But lately, Evelyn had noticed changes in Matthew's behavior. Late-night calls, unexplained absences, and a distance in his once affectionate demeanor. The spark between them had dimmed, replaced by an unsettling tension. Evelyn's best friend, Harriet, had urged her to talk to Matthew, but Evelyn hesitated. Confrontation wasn't her strong suit, and she hoped her fears were unfounded. Yet, the nagging feeling persisted. A week later, Evelyn's suspicions deepened when she stumbled upon a receipt in Matthew's coat pocket. It was from a high-end jewelry store. Her birthday was months away, and their anniversary had already passed. The date on the receipt coincided with a night Matthew had claimed to be working late. Evelyn's heart raced as she tucked the receipt back, unsure of how to approach the discovery. That evening, she decided to confide in Harriet. Over cups of steaming coffee at Evelyn's kitchen table, Harriet listened intently. "Evelyn, you need to address this," Harriet said firmly. "You deserve honesty no matter what." Evelyn nodded, her hands trembling. "I'm just scared of what I might find out," she admitted. "Sometimes, facing the truth is the only way forward," Harriet replied gently. The following weekend, Evelyn decided to follow Matthew. She felt a pang of guilt but knew she couldn't live in uncertainty any longer. Matthew had told her he was meeting a client downtown, so Evelyn waited in her car near his office. She watched as he emerged, dressed sharply in a charcoal suit, and got into his car. Her heart pounded as she followed him at a safe distance. To her surprise, he didn't head downtown but instead drove to an upscale restaurant on the outskirts of the city. Evelyn parked discreetly and watched as he greeted a woman with a warm embrace. The woman was striking, with auburn hair and a confident demeanor. Evelyn felt her stomach drop as Matthew pulled out a small velvet box and handed it to the woman. She opened it, revealing a delicate diamond necklace. Tears blurred Evelyn's vision as she snapped a photo with her phone. She'd seen enough. That night, Evelyn waited for Matthew to return home. When he walked through the door, she confronted him, her voice trembling. "Matthew, where were you tonight?" she asked, holding up the photo on her phone. Matthew's face paled. "Evelyn, I can explain," he stammered. "Go ahead," she said, crossing her arms. "Explain how you were giving jewelry to another woman." Matthew sighed, running a hand through his hair. "Her name is Clara. She's an old friend, someone I knew before we got married. She's been going through a tough time and I wanted to help her. Do you expect me to believe that?" Evelyn's voice cracked. "You've been lying to me, Matthew. This isn't just about Clara, it's about your betrayal of my trust." Matthew's shoulders slumped. "Evelyn, I never meant to hurt you. I've made mistakes, but I still love you." Evelyn's heart ached. She wanted to believe him, but the evidence was too damning. "Love isn't supposed to feel like this," she whispered, tears streaming down her face. In the days that followed, Evelyn grappled with her emotions. She reached out to a therapist, seeking clarity and guidance. Harriet remained by her side, offering unwavering support. Evelyn knew she had to make a decision, to either rebuild the trust or walk away. Matthew, to his credit, was remorseful. He attended therapy sessions and made genuine efforts to win Evelyn back. But Evelyn realized that trust, once shattered, wasn't easily repaired. One evening, as she sorted through their wedding photos, she came across a note Matthew had written to her on their wedding day. It read, "Evelyn, you are my everything. I promise to cherish and protect your heart forever. Evelyn realized that promises weren't just words. They were commitments that required effort and honesty. She decided to take time for herself, focusing on her passions and rediscovering her sense of self-worth. Months later, Evelyn sat at Bella's again, this time with a newfound sense of peace. She had filed for separation, choosing to prioritize her happiness over a relationship built on broken trust. Matthew's betrayal had been a painful chapter, but it had also been a turning point. As the saxophone played a soulful melody, Evelyn smiled, knowing that her story wasn't defined by heartbreak, but by resilience. She was ready to embrace a future filled with possibilities, where trust and love could flourish once more.